Episode 79 of The Loaded Couch. Bad Robot Goes Portal. PSVR is bad for your health. Gears of Wars movie. I go Magnum. Questions from listeners. And beer.
Beer.
Reach in at your own risk. This is The Loaded Couch.
All right, guys, welcome back to Loaded Couch. This is episode 79. I'm Scotch Hound.
And I'm Celtic Fox.
It's just the two of us. Yay.
The dynamic duo is back. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Speaking of the dynamic duo, what are you drinking?
So I think we chose barley wine ale this week.
We did?
We did. Pigeon was a little resistant on that, but he finally caved, and now he's not on the show. So
That's right. So it didn't matter.
I'm drinking Blithering Idiot.
Me too.
By Weyerbacher.
Me too.
This is their barley wine ale. They're Weyerbacher out of Easton, PA. It's like a reddish brown, I guess you would say, right? Like a really deep red, kind of in the brown family. And this puppy's kicking 11.1% alcohol.
Yeah, I had one last night because I opened it thinking we were going to do the show last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, crap, I can't cap it again and put it away now.
Yeah, I'm like already, we were setting up and stuff, and so I got a little head start. I'm feeling warm and fuzzy already. Did
you have a light dinner?
Yeah, actually, I had chicken noodle soup for dinner.
Oh, that'll do it then. Yeah, don't have too much sustenance in your stomach. I had crap for dinner. Oh my god, I had two fish fillet sandwiches from McDonald's, and I hate myself for it.
Oh boy,
I hate those things. Well, the worst part is that they put cheese on it. I don't know why you need cheese on a fish
In my opinion, that's the best part.
Really? Oh god, that's the thing. I got up there and I ordered just because the woman was kind of like, "What do you want? What do you want? What about you? Is that it? Is that it?" I'm just like, holy shit, is she rushing me right now? Is there like a huge line behind me? There's like maybe two other people.
Yeah, you're like, I want a fish sandwich and you not to spit in it, Miss Attitude.
Yeah. But no, I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh shit, I ordered, and then she went on to the next person, and I'm standing there. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to say no cheese because I was thinking it the whole time I'm walking up to the counter. But as soon as I got Jonas to order, and then Nicole, and then and then she started rushing. I'm like, fish fillet sandwiches.
Yeah, that's one of my vices. I like cheese way more than I should.
Yeah, well, we are the cheese nation, aren't we?
Yeah.
But cheese and everything. The Patagonia Company is known for creating sustainable outdoor gear. Today, the California-based eco-friendly clothing company is adding beer to its existing line of sustainable food and beverage products.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I didn't think they would be going that direction, but all right. The American Pale Ale, which clocks in at 5.5% alcohol, is called Long Root Ale and is brewed in partnership with Hopworks Urban Brewery in Portland, Oregon. California-based company. Huh, okay. The ale is made with 15% Kernza and trademarked name for a trademarked named for a wild grain that requires less water for growth, cuts carbon output, and builds soil health. That's pretty cool.
Now, did they also add some like form of either belly button lint or what is it? Something from the beard?
Kind of yeast. Yeah. I doubt it, but that's pretty cool that they had that grain. I mean, it's definitely going to help with the water consumption issues that they're having in California.
So I guess everything they do just revolves around the fact of how less impact on the environment can they be.
Sure, right.
So I guess beer is the only thing they're missing from their portfolio, probably.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that beer is mostly water.
Well, hey, if they're listening and they really want to be sustainable, they should not use water. And remember the one episode we talked about collecting dew from the moisture in the air?
Oh yeah, in Peru or whatever.
Yeah,
Peruvian mountains.
Yeah, with the moisture nets, they should go that route and make all their beer.
See, now I was thinking on the other end of it, go with the gray water system, like they were talking about for that other beer company we were talking about.
Cleaned dishwater and
exactly.
Laundry,
Start collecting
laundry water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. That'd be better, right? Instead of, I mean, the dew would be helpful for the plant material, where the gray water.
Yeah, they might get some pocket lint from that gray water. So.
Yeah. Nice. Swiss researcher designed a study to see if they could shed some light on the hookup culture. They recruited 30 men and 30 women, offered them beer, and subjected them to a series of psychological tests. I wonder how many beers.
So basically, they grabbed 30 men, 30 women, said, "Here, get shit faced and
Yeah, well, I was wondering how many
do a
beers.
round of speed dating."
Okay, this is weird, but all the study participants were white. Okay, in good mental health and between the ages of 18 and 50. Okay, here's what they learned.
So it was a racist study.
Yeah, Jesus, I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, I guess you have to take down all the attributes of the persons that you're doing the study so you can write your thesis and whatever. Yeah. Anyway, here's what they learned from the volunteers. People were quicker to recognize happy faces when there was alcohol in their system. People had a greater desire to be in a positive social environment, such as a party, after consuming an alcoholic beer. An alcoholic beer, okay. Like, were they offering non-alcoholic beers? Although oxytocin, a molecule some people know better as the love hormone, is known to produce effects like these, blood tests showed that alcohol had no effect on the volunteers' oxytocin levels. People were somewhat put off by sexually explicit images after drinking the near beer. Okay, so they did have some. They rated the pictures less pleasant than neutral pictures, but not after drinking regular beer. Okay. That's your inhibitions, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And likewise, when people had an alcoholic buzz, they found sexually explicit images more pleasant than they did when the buzz was absent. This particular effect was particularly strong among women, surprisingly. There were no signs that alcohol enhanced sexual arousal in the volunteers.
Now, doesn't that, I mean, that last line kind of goes against everything that, was in front of it. They're saying basically everything I listened to made it sound like their inhibitions were lowered.
Right, but it didn't make them sexually aroused. They were more open to the idea of sex, or at least the pictures of explicit images. They were open and they found them pleasing, but I don't think it got them aroused.
Okay, I see what you mean.
So they didn't mind the pictures.
So basically, all this study did was prove the point that if you go to the bar and get drunk, you're more than likely going to hook up.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, the more you drink, the more you want to stay in those types of situations. Interesting. Movies. Calc, what'd you watch?
We rented the new Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows.
Okay.
My son watched it twice. He really liked it. He kept begging and begging. He's like, "Dad."
The same day?
He watched it at night and then watched it the next morning.
Okay.
I rented it on Friday night. So it was a Friday night and then on Saturday morning. So, yeah.
Not that he fell asleep during it or anything and then had to rewatch stuff he missed.
No, he stayed up.
Really into it.
Before I even did the rental, he kept saying, "Can we rent it?" And I gave him the ultimatum. I'm like, I'm not buying it because it's $20 and I don't want to spend that much on Ninja Turtles. He's like, "Well, we'll rent it. And if I really like it, then we'll buy it." I'm like, "No, you're missing the point. I'm not going to spend $26.
Yeah.
So I convinced him into the rental and, yeah, it was really good. It was actually, it was even better than the first one, I thought. It was very heavy, obviously CGI, computer graphics, but I don't know. It was entertaining and was it Bebop and Rocksteady?
Yeah.
Those guys were pretty funny.
Now, did you get the feeling out of these movies? Because I know that there was kind of a bigger to-do. You were saying previously with the that beer study that it was kind of a racist thing. They were making note that the turtles kind of had a black swagger to them, more so than.
No, I didn't see that. I mean,
because that was kind of like a thing that I thought came out originally with the Ninja Turtles when they started remaking these again.
No. I mean, I thought they kind of were voiced and acted in the way of their original
the cartoon.
Their original characters.
Okay.
I mean, like they kind of had that like ditzy surfer dude stereotype to them a little bit. So I didn't really relate a a race or nationality to them. I thought they did a pretty good job.
Right, which is what surprised me when I heard about that, because I always thought like the turtles were just turtles.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
But the ending was really cool. What was
It's had
his-
April in it too, right? And what the hell's the guy with the golf clubs and stuff?
Casey Jones. They had
Right, okay.
April O'Neil. They had Bebop Rocksteady. They had what was his name? Crag. Crag. The brain. You remember the brain that was like in the robot body?
No.
You don't remember him? It was like this big, tall, robotic humanoid figure, but it had like a brain, like in a glass dome or it had a brain in his belly. That was like the villain. That was opposite of, Shredder.
Okay.
So they covered that in this movie. Again, it was good entertainment. The effects were pretty cool.
Splinter in it too?
Yeah, he's in it. I think they did a good job with the Bebop and Rocksteady. So I guess that's like the high point for me. I was a little curious how they were going to do those guys.
I'm assuming they were all CGI.
Not in the beginning, but yes, in the end they were.
Okay. All right.
How about you? Did you watch it?
I didn't. I think I did. I don't remember now. It was kind of a busy weekend. But no, I don't think I did watch a movie. Anyway. It seems the Portal movie is still happening, and we may be hearing an announcement about it in the near future, at least according to the comments made recently by J.J. Abrams.
See, I didn't even hear any buzz about this. I didn't know they were doing a Portal movie.
I mean, both the planned Portal movie and a Half-Life movie are still very much in development, according to Abrams. Both these movies were announced back in 2013. Calc, what comes out first? Death Stranding or one of these movies?
Yeah, that's the Kojima game, right? Death Stranding that's the Kojima game that he showed off at E3. That was all cinematic with Daryl Dixon naked holding the baby.
Yeah.
I'd say one of these movies comes out first. Kojima likes to take his time.
Right.
I think both movies could be really good. I mean, a Portal movie done right would be awesome, around the whole scientific labs, type of thing. The Half-Life movie would just make total bank because people are obsessed with that franchise. I mean, people are still kidding around saying they can't wait for Half-Life 3.
So what would you call the Half-Life movie? Just Orange Box?
I'd call it Black Mesa.
Oh, okay.
Just call it Black Mesa, and I think Ed Norton would make a good Gordon Freeman. I'd like to see that. That would be interesting. Just throw some glasses on him and
have him grow out the facial hair a little tiny bit.
Off he goes. A confused scientist out to save his own ass. I think it'd be cool.
Now, do you think they have to go, because not everybody plays Portal, not everybody plays Half-Life, they're going to have to dumb it down and kind of do a little storytelling?
Well,
or do you think they can pretty much just jump right into it?
I think they can jump right into it. I mean, that's what's cool about both of those games is it's pretty self-explanatory as to what's going on. Now, that said, the whole Half-Life thing, I know we talked about it a little bit, but I was saying I think Stranger Things, the series on Netflix, it definitely got its whole crack in the portal or whatever you want to call it was very Half-Life to me, because that was that whole Black Mesa, Gordon Freeman, things went berserk in the science lab, and before you know it, there's aliens coming out.
Yeah.
So Stranger Things felt very Half-Life to me, I guess you could say.
So what'd you watch on TV this past week?
Watched a couple things. I mean, TV tends to be my go-to. More than anything. I watched American Horror Story Season 6, Episode 2. I like this one. It reminds me a lot of the first season. I don't know if it's just something to do with the spooky house, very similar to the first one, but have you watched any of them yet? Have you caught anything? I don't want to really...
No. Nicole jumped ahead. I think she watched 1 or 2, maybe 3 episodes of that, and I said I was going to watch it myself, so I have to watch those just to catch up so we can actually...
Did she tell you anything about... I mean, it's not really a spoiler because you find out literally 30 seconds into the show, but did she tell you anything about the format of what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and she did say that the freakiness of it was a little bit more like the first season as well.
Okay.
She kind of agreed with that, yeah.
I really like the format. I like the cast. I mean, they got Cuba in it this year. I also watched Son of Zorn. I love that show. The animated thing on Fox where he's
Right.
the barbarian.
With
dad.
live action with animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I watched Westworld, the HBO, the new series based on the Michael Crichton book.
You have with the Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yes, Anthony Hopkins and actually quite a bit of people in it. I'm drawing a blank on most of their names, but it's been hyped up. I remember seeing previews for this thing a year ago, and I think this is HBO's hopefully big gamble, big bet on the transition out of Game of Thrones into something to maybe carry on for another 5 or 6 years.
Right.
I did read an article on IGN about it, and they were talking about how far out and how far ahead they have some storyline arcs and stuff like that. But we can talk a little more about that. What did you?
I was going to say.
What did you watch?
I watched Luther. It's a BBC cop drama.
Okay, I thought
It's
it
a
was
little bit-
Lex Luthor.
No, it's really good. It's got Idris Elba in it.
Okay,
Elba.
Idris Elba. Yeah.
Idris Elba. Yeah. It's really, really good. It's really freaky. I don't think it'd be for everybody. There's a lot of, especially with like the stupid clown epidemic thing that's going around in the East Coast, U.S. and a little bit on the West Coast as well. There's a lot of just crazy people that it's kind of portraying, doing things like, kidnappings, just randoms,
Okay.
for no reasons whatsoever.
Like
so
serial
just-
killer stuff, or just like out of
in
the-
some
out of the
in
norm?
some situations like that, yeah. Some of it's just like I was just watching this one where there was these twin brothers who were kind of playing like a role-playing game, where you use the dice and stuff to decide what you're doing, but they weren't doing it. They were doing it in real life.
Okay, kind of like I got you, role playing in real life.
Right, and they were just they weren't interacting together. They were just going out into the world and doing horrible bad things to regular people, and then disappearing again. And then once they'd see it on the news, they could kind of get a score from that, and then they were keeping track with each other that way. And then the other would go and do it and stuff. And it was crazy because they were twins, so they thought that it was just one person, but it wasn't.
So basically, when the show ends, it makes you question what kind of twisted world we live in.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really good. I definitely say to check it out. I think it's been on for a while because it's like 5 or 6 seasons already.
Would you say on Netflix or Amazon?
Yeah, Netflix.
Okay.
And it's really good. I also watched a bunch of football this past weekend. Just still wishing I was doing better in my fantasy football league. But
You and I both.
yeah. Anyway, you were mentioning Westworld, and HBO's Westworld with $100 million price tag faces a huge expectation. The overall budget for the first season of the 10-episode project is in the $100 million range. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
I mean, what do you think that all was spent? Was that, you think, mostly just the setup? Because
Well, what is it? I mean, I'm drawing a blank. Game of Thrones has something crazy like I think 125, 150 million now per season.
Right. But from the looks of this is just out in the desert.
Yeah, but you know what? I had heard, the pilot alone was 25 million. So the 90-minute pilot was 25 million. Now, so when you think about that, that's 25% of their budget for the year.
Right.
A lot of that was your upfront cost to get that whole, like you said, get the whole setting done. So they had to create the labs, they had to create the
town
and all that. So all that stuff's reusable.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was well worth it, though. I mean, the story felt very realistic, I guess you could say.
How much of that do you think is actor pay? I mean, because Sir Anthony, I can't imagine comes cheap.
Yeah, exactly. I was out of 100 million, I'd be willing to say I bet you 10 million at least is spent on salaries.
Okay. 10%.
About 10%.
Yeah, crazy. HBO scrapped the entire original Game of Thrones pilot, scrapped, which had a price tag of $20 million, like you said.
Yeah, I think they were a little hesitant back then with the whole 20 million was a lot of money, and Game of Thrones was kind of unknown. But now I think they've seen from experience, hey, we can make Game of Thrones good. We're confident in this Westworld show.
Sure.
So let's go for it. And again, I think I love that type of stuff. I mean, you guys always harp on me about the robot dome and stuff, but
Mhm.
I love the whole questioning of humanity versus science.
Now, are
you
they
know?
robot?
Yes, they're all synthetics. They're all
So
manufactured.
they have a mechanical interior. They're not like grown humans.
Well, what they show you in the show, I mean, even in the opening credits, they're created of some form of a skeletal system, and they use like a 3D printer to basically literally pull each strand of muscle fiber. I don't know if it's like some kind of rubbery substance or what,
Mhm.
but they build the skeletal and the muscular system, and then they dip them in this vat, I guess, of a solution that basically simulates the skin growth.
Right.
And then they always talk about like updating code and drivers and software, so they are running on some form of a computer.
So maybe the only computer aspect of it would be the brain. Maybe the rest of it is all organic.
It could be. Maybe they figured out. Again, they didn't really talk about what time or setting, like
Mhm.
how far in the future. Maybe they found a way to whatever the synthetic muscle is, and it's accurately restructured. I mean, like muscle tendons are put in the exact places of a real human.
Right.
Maybe this stuff reacts to like a motor skill in the brain, like you said. Like maybe the computer tells it to do things, and
There's electrical impulses or something. that
yeah,
are sent.
maybe the muscle fibers twitch or something, and
Right.
that, it bends and walks and does all the stuff it should. Because they even do it with the horses. One of the scenes shows the horses are built from the ground up.
Okay.
Even the horses are fake.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a brilliant show. I love stuff like that. It makes you question at what point does it stop becoming a computer and become human.
Sure. FXX will once again make television marathon history when it airs all 600 episodes of The Simpsons later this year.
Wow.
The marathon will begin on Thanksgiving Day, November 24th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and conclude 13 days and 300 hours later at midnight on December 6th.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So this is like, if you think you're like the boss watching Star Wars movies back to back,
Yeah.
try and watch all 600 episodes of The Simpsons. I wonder if somebody's going to try and go for a record. They couldn't do that. They would
No,
die.
yeah, no way.
You would die.
300
You would
hours.
die. Well,
Right.
you would die, but you can't stay awake for 13 days like that.
I'm just wondering how many people are going to be bootlegging it.
Set your DVR.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think your DVR could do 300 hours, but that'd be amazing. I guess you could do it if you had it hooked up to your computer or something, maybe,
Yeah,
or
like a
external hard drive.
16 terabyte external
Yeah,
drive.
exactly. Well, Archer to end after season 10, Adam Reed said.
Wow, I can't believe it's 10 seasons.
Well, I don't think it's not there yet. He goes on to say the plan is to end Archer after season 10. I don't know that anybody has talked about that, but that is definitely my plan, to do 8, 9, and 10. And they're each going to be shorter seasons with just 8 episodes, and then
Okay.
one.
Okay, so he still
So
has
they're at
3.
7 now.
Still, 7's impressive.
Right, yeah.
I'll admit I have not watched, much of this. I think I'm halfway through season 1.
Right.
Hysterical. Every
it is
time
so
every
good.
time I watch it, I'm cracking up. Some nights I watch it in bed on my phone. My wife
Lana!
Yeah. I mean, I love the episode with the where they go on to the was it the blimp? The luxury blimp, and then they were also on one in a boat. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just hysterical, the whole, him and
The dynamic between
yeah,
them.
him and Lana, and then what's his name always getting jealous.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, what the heck is his name? The Cyril?
Yeah.
The accountant? It's so good.
And the chick that's always telling him to choke her.
Oh, yeah.
She has like the hand marks on her neck still. Yeah, great show. I love
so
it.
Good. It really is. Yeah. All right, beer thoughts.
It's a
Slithering
yay.
Idiot.
It's a
Yeah?
yay. I mean, it doesn't. Again, it's such a high alcohol content. I almost feel like I'm sipping like a bourbon or something.
Mhm.
But it's really good. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, myself as well. Like you said, it is the high alcohol. It doesn't have a whole lot of that alcohol flavor,
Mhm.
even though it's 11%.
Yeah.
It does have kind of that I don't know. It is like a. I mean, you call it a barley wine ale. It kind of has that smoothness like a wine,
I was gonna say it's got that. It almost tastes like you're drinking a red wine.
but it has the fizz of like a beer
And it's got
or like the
just
carbonation.
just enough fruit in it to offset any types
Right.
of burn, like you said. Yeah, I really like it a lot.
That's good.
Food pairing for me. I don't even know what you would do something like this, but I'm thinking beef of some sort.
Ha! I was gonna say a medium rare, like ribeye.
Yeah, I was thinking either some kind of steak, or I know I say it quite a bit on the show, but some kind of cheesesteak, or just like you said, a medium rare steak. But yeah, it's good. Now I'm jonesing for a steak.
With with whiz or without?
Not a cheesesteak, a regular, like you said, a ribeye.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm a yay as well. I don't know if I said that or not, but all right, let's get a refill. I think. Don't want to get you too toasty in the next segment, and we'll be back with Let's Talk Games.
For more from the Loaded Couch, check us out on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.
If you like me and would like to follow me on Twitter at Pigeon Peg Leg and also on Twitch, Pigeon Peg Leg. Pigeon Peg Leg.
Hey, this is Scotchhound. If you want to hear more from me, you can check me out on Twitter at Scotchhound_LC or on Twitch at Scotchhound.
All right, we're back with Let's
Let's
Talk Games.
games. Hey, that's almost as good as last week's I'm loaded scotch.
Yeah. No, I didn't think you were good. I thought you were going to leave me hanging again like you did 2 weeks ago.
No.
All right. Drinking. What are you doing?
Same thing. Blithering Idiot, 11%. I'm
Me too.
Gonna have to nurse this bad boy for the night. I might do 2 of them.
Right. Okay. Let's get right into what you played this past week. What'd you play?
Real
Games.
quick, dusted off the Forza Horizons 2.
Nice.
Wanted to get a little bit of that in because I do know at some point we're gonna pick up Horizons 3. I did do the Sport Utility race or Sport Utility series.
Okay.
I picked the Porsche Macan Turbo.
Okay.
I think I want to get one in real life.
Oh no, are you going SUV?
This would be the only way. This thing, I mean, instantly fell in love with it. Handles, again, it's made by Porsche. Handles like a car. Didn't feel too bouncy, SUV like. Did great on the roads, good on the off roads. I really like it. I see one on the way to work once in a while in real life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hot looking little SUV.
It is, and it is just the small SUV too, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like the I don't know what you would call it. Kind of like the Infinity has their little SUV. It almost looks crossover-ish. It's not really like a full-blown heavy-duty looking SUV. It's more of like the rounded back end. I would almost even maybe say in the same class as the Volkswagen, not
Tiguan.
the Tiguan. It's something like that. But
Okay, now if you had to go American comparison, it's definitely bigger than the Escape, right?
Yeah.
But not as big as the Explorer. Would you say like maybe Edge size?
No, well, my wife has an Edge. I mean, the Edge is bigger than the Explorer, or about on the same size. I would say it's just a little notch above the Escape.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the smaller size, but yeah, it's a hot little SUV. I also played Destiny. Got my light level over 300 finally.
Yay!
Hey, on my Titan.
Yeah, mine jumped up a whole bunch because I played Destiny as well with the Iron Banner stuff.
Iron Banner or the Rise of Iron?
Rise of Iron. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'm hoping to pick that up. But is it really good?
But from thus far, it's decent. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to more of the single player, campaign stuff of that.
Okay.
But that's what jumped me up really fast on the 300.
Okay.
But go ahead.
And I did hop back into Recore real quick. They had a patch earlier today. It was like a 5 gig patch that fixed they added audio, fixed some of the visuals. The big thing was they fixed the load times. Things load, I'd say probably about half the time now, which is a big improvement. So it doesn't.
Well, yeah, because that was Jim's biggest complaint, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you don't feel like you're sitting there forever waiting. It's almost, I'd say it's on par with Destiny. Like when you're traveling to the planets and you're sitting there waiting for the ship,
Gotcha,
to
okay.
travel and load. I'd say it's probably on par with that. And real quick too on Recore, they did announce today that they're offering a free trial, 30 minutes. You get 30 minutes for free with the game to try it out, and if you like it, obviously you'd be purchasing it. But I highly
At
recommend
any time, or is this a time sensitive thing?
It's one of those timed ones where when you start it, you get 30 minutes.
Okay, but I mean, there's no like start day, end day.
I don't think so. I think it's just from this date forward.
Okay, all right. Myself, I played Destiny, as I said, and I also played some FIFA 16 with you guys.
Yeah, I almost touched the FIFA just to work on my dribbling skills.
Right. Yeah, I do need to get back in because it had been a while since I had played pretty much anything. And the controls were kind of like almost new to me again. I played with both the Flans Bros and Pigeon.
Okay.
But it was good. It was good jumping back into it. Destiny, it's still great.
Yeah.
It really is.
How much was
It's
that?
still
Was it
a good shooter.
$30?
Yeah, and the nice thing was I had free money from doing the Bing stuff.
Okay.
So I had like $30 in there from Bing money, and I just used that to pay for it. So it was like freebie.
Nice.
Microsoft
Free
paid to buy
upgrade.
it. Exactly. Sony news. A doctor warns Sony's new PlayStation VR headset could lead to an eye disease and a vomiting epidemic.
Well, I think the vomiting epidemic's a given. I think there's going to be a lot of people getting a little vertigo and nausea.
Hey, this could be a nice, easy way for models to keep in their size instead of having to put their fingers down their
There you
throat.
go. 30 minutes a day of VR.
Yeah.
The eye
Oh, my-
disease, it's interesting that you said that because I watched the VR review this morning from the Kind of Funny guys,
Mhm.
Greg Miller and them. And they were talking about how it comes with a little chamois wipe because I guess one of the guys, their girlfriends tried it out and got a little bit of makeup or something on the lens. So I'm assuming those eyepieces and lenses must be pretty damn close to your eyeballs by the time you crank it down because it has a crank on the back that allows you to tighten it so you don't see any daylight coming through.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So you basically, your eyeballs are kissing the lens.
Right.
And it does use one screen, I guess, where the Vive and the Oculus use two screens. The
Okay.
PSVR uses one screen and then somehow mirrors the image or splits it down the center. That's one of the ways, I guess, maybe they got a cheaper product out the door. But yeah, they better give some kind of, or maybe we can go into business selling like Clorox wipes for the lenses for people's eyeballs.
Well, this could be something that Clorox is going to jump onto now that you said that, you turd. Leading laser eye surgeon Dr. David Allenby, clinical director of London's Focus Clinic, says VR could be setting up a generation of young adults for myopia, which is nearsightedness, and agonizingly painful dry eye.
Get out the Visine.
Yeah, jeez.
This
Visine
episode
sales
of The
are
Loaded Couch is brought to you by Visine.
Yeah. Go out and buy your Visine stock now. So, do we take the "what doesn't kill you makes you stronger" approach, or do we fall under germaphobe pigeons? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, well, remember I was texting you guys now that I hear this is out at Best Buy.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to try VR. I mean, I don't know how else we're going to get the chance to try it out. I'd like to go try it out. I mean, if I have to bring my own little packet of wipes or something, I'll disinfect the whole damn headset right there before I put it on. But I do want to try this out. That tank battle game looked pretty cool.
Okay.
I don't know. What are your thoughts? You interested?
I'll try it out. I'm not overly interested. I think I'm more interested in AR than I am VR. But yeah, I'd like to try it out just to see what it's like.
I mean, are you open-minded? Do you think you could be swayed? Because the more and more stuff I'm watching, especially like today and yesterday, because I guess they're starting to do some VR reviews, people are saying the PlayStation 1 it's good from the aspect of it's a good gateway drug. It's got a lower price point, so it gets you into the VR craze at a cheaper price. And a lot of people are saying they like it. It feels very realistic and like you're there. And that's at a lower resolution Again, I don't want to knock it. It's a lower quality VR than the other ones that are out there.
Just because of the price point.
The price point, and I guess
because of having to make a profit of some sort.
Well, the Vive and the Oculus, I guess, have a higher resolution. So they were.
Yeah, but they also have a higher demand on system load too.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting because Scorpio supposedly is going to support this higher quality stuff right out of the gate.
Right.
Yeah, I guess they were saying with the screens this close to your eye, you get a little bit of, they call it a screen door effect.
Okay.
So it's as if you're looking through a screen. The resolution's not high enough, so you start to see a little bit of like a fabric material overlay on the image. So I guess on the other types of headsets, you don't get that.
Okay. I don't, honestly, I have to say I'm a lot more interested in the AR than I am the VR because I'm not looking forward to completely closing myself off from the world around me when I'm gaming.
What about Minecraft?
Again, I think I'd rather see AR than I would VR for that.
Okay.
Just because, again, I don't want to have to completely close off my senses to the world around me as I'm playing games. I don't want to shut everything out. Like if Jonas comes down, he doesn't have to come over and pull the headphones off to ask me a question. Or
do you feel like? I mean, I can admit this myself. I'll say there is a possibility. Do you fear any sort of addiction to it?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could totally see how that could be, a thing with a lot of gamers in general, because I see how gaming itself can be an addiction to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. So
being able to then close yourself off and immerse yourself completely into the game, yeah, I can see that being a huge issue. But myself, no, I don't see that.
Okay.
Honestly being an issue, but yeah. Mods are coming to PlayStation 4 for Skyrim. And 4K coming to PlayStation 4 for Skyrim and Fallout 4.
Yeah, good news for PlayStation people.
Yeah, mod support is coming to PlayStation 4 for both Skyrim Special Edition and Fallout 4. Skyrim will have these features when it launches on October 28th. The new power of the PlayStation 4 Pro has allowed Bethesda to make Skyrim render in native 4K.
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, I think a month or two ago we talked on an episode about how mods were not coming, and they were saying they couldn't do it on PlayStation 4. But I guess they worked together and worked something out, and now with the PS4 Pro coming, they're going to be able to offer this 4K stuff, which is really cool.
I'm wondering if they're going to be limited.
I would think they'd have to apply across the board, same as it is with the Xbox. As far as like there's mods that are approved and selected. I think that's how it works in the store.
Right, so not the same as PC, but more of a select.
Yeah. I don't think it's like a anything goes. Like you can just choose any mod and it doesn't have any sort of quality control.
Right.
I think there's specific ones that are approved and then like loaded into the mod store, and then you
see. I don't mind that too, because it adds safety to the corruption of your system.
Well, exactly. You don't want to brick your system with some half-ass mod.
Right. Which again, it's similar to like the phone software that Apple has and Microsoft have, where the apps have to go through an approval process.
Yeah, you're still waiting on that Windows 10 update, huh?
Yeah, shut up. All right, Microsoft news. A British market research firm, Global Web Index, concluded that Xbox One owners spend more time playing their games playing games on their consoles than PlayStation 4 owners. The results also say that Wii U owners spend more time playing their games than PlayStation 4 owners. The Xbox One is on top, but it beats Wii U only by a minute.
Nice.
In turn, the Wii U beats PlayStation by about 11 minutes.
Quick, do the math. How far ahead is Xbox and PlayStation 4?
12 minutes?
There you go.
I didn't know. I'm like, wait a minute. Is it the simple answer, or are you looking for something a little more in depth? Okay. Yeah.
No, and again, we might get some hate, for harping on PlayStation. Again, we're not really vested into that ecosystem. Again, we're more than willing to if the opportunity presents itself. But that's, yeah. I mean that I guess if you use an hour as your scale, it's almost 15 minutes, almost 25% of your playtime. You spend more on the Xbox than you do the PlayStation.
Now, I wonder if PlayStation users would come out and say, "Well, that's because the Xbox is slower; it's got slower hardware." And
Yeah. Oh, you mean saying the slowness is what makes them play longer?
Yes.
That would be a bad argument if it was the case. But, no, but I don't get it. I mean, PlayStation's supposed to have some great, exclusives and stuff like that. They obviously are almost 2 times the volume of PlayStations out there than Xboxes. But
Right.
I mean, you and Pigeon are prime examples. You both have one. It's sitting there. You have some good games you can play on it, but we just keep going back to the Xbox. And I mean, what is that? That's maybe because that's where your friends game type of thing.
Yes, 100%. And I know that's been like in conversations with other people that I know that are PlayStation gamers. They always say, I thought about getting the Xbox One, but most of the friends that I play with now have PlayStation and they weren't changing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Gears of War goes to the silver screen.
Nice. Big announcement tonight.
During the live Gears of War 4 launch show, it was announced that Microsoft is teaming up with Universal to bring the Gears lore to the big screen. What do you think? Should it be like the games, the pre-emergence day, or older Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't really give any details, so people are already starting to like draw some theories about the Gears universe is big. It's got a lot of great potential, I think.
Right.
It's kind of right up there with the Halo, universe.
I mean, even with the 3 that they have out already, I mean, they've spanned a bunch of years in the storyline.
Well, actually, I mean, you have Gears 1, 2, 3, and Judgment. I didn't really play Judgment. And now you have Gears 4 coming out.
Right.
So Gears 4, I mean, no spoilers, but everybody kind of knows from the trailer, Marcus is, Grandpa Marcus or old Pappy.
He's definitely gray.
Yeah, he's gray and got the beard. What timeline do you think best supports a movie, especially if you want to continue to make movies and you want to continue to make games? Like, do you try to introduce, kind of like we just talked about with Portal and Half-Life, do you introduce people into the Gears universe during Emergence Day? Or do you completely split it off and don't even talk about Marcus or Dom or, Coltrane or any of those guys and make them kind of background myths and legends and kind of go for the simple grunt? It's interesting. They could spin it anyway.
I was going to say, I think, like you had mentioned, if for making more movies of it, I'd almost like to see them start with the early story of like how Marcus, met Dom, like before like the whole pre-emergence day, and kind of establish themselves as, these soldiers and everything else before anything happened. Kind of get that in at least for the first half to 2/3 of the of the first movie, and then kind of end it with leading up to the pre-emergence day.
Yeah, I mean, do you think people would get pissed if you kind of wrapped up after the climax? Like, if the climax of the first movie was the breakthrough, the Emergence Day, and people only got maybe 30 minutes of the locusts and stuff like that. Do you think people would be upset, wanting like a full-blown, 2-hour action-packed movie of like Marcus and Dom?
Yeah, no, I think they wouldn't. I don't see why you couldn't do that, because it seems like the dynamic that they have together when they talk about, like in the first game, when they talk about like historic events of the two of them working together, there has to be some kind of, semi-action packed events that happen in that timeline that you could kind of come up with a decent, fight scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To get that action into the movie. But the only reason I'm saying is I'd like to see that is just to kind of, build the non-playing crowd.
Well, exactly. Build the lore up for the people that don't know the lore.
Right. And then leave you with the cliffhanger of, the locusts coming. Maybe just show them. Kind of like a lot of the Marvel movies do that.
Yeah.
It's like, they'll give you that one big fight, and then at the end they show you like something else. It's like, oh crap, that guy's coming next. Really?
That's true. They could actually learn a lot from the Marvel franchise of like how to present a really good Gears to, keep you coming back for more.
Right. All right, Nintendo news. NX rumors. Direct Feed Gaming revealed that the Nintendo NX will be 3 to 4 times more powerful than the Wii U in terms of gigaflops. I hate that word now. Also adding that developers won't have to deal with any technical hurdle if they want to port PS4 and Xbox One games to the NX, as the console will support Unreal Engine 4 and other modern game engines.
This is good news. I mean, this is good for Nintendo.
It's hopefully good news. Multiple sources have also confirmed that the NX will be powered by an NVIDIA Pascal Tegra.
Okay, I think that's
It seems like a
pretty
decent
chip.
chip.
Yeah, decent chip.
Right, from what I was doing a little research on, 4K upscaling and HDR support are in the vein of the Xbox One S. Could be technically possible, but there's doubt that Nintendo will be going for it.
See,
As usual.
I know they're so close. They're like right there on the verge of releasing a really good quality system. Like it,
I'd say just push it.
Yeah, I don't care if it doesn't have to do 4K native. It doesn't, but seeing what the Xbox One S can do now, and you're releasing your system after that's already come out,
Right, and you're still not hitting it.
and you're not hit. I mean, I know they've already made these choices months and years ago on what the hardware specs would be, but I don't know if they can make it
It
happen.
can't be that big of a change, though. I mean, even like you said, for being that far back that it was in development and stuff, just push it out like another few months. I mean, can the software changes be that difficult just to add additional new hardware to get that 4K and HDR?
Yeah, I think the 4K might be the bigger issue than the HDR. I mean, the 4K
Software-wise?
software, I think that they can handle the HDR, but I think the thing that might be the little brick wall is the 4K, where they might have to do a overclock or something like that on the chip
Okay.
to get
So
it.
again, that's hardware though.
Well, it's a firmware software firmware
running the
update
hardware.
that pushes the hardware. The problem is you don't want to get into hardware failures like the Red Ring.
Right. Yeah. It's too bad. I mean, they're always behind. They are always, like, it seems, one console behind.
Yeah.
And I hate that fact.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's like I said, that I think PlayStation and Xbox are going to get into a leapfrog type of system.
Yeah.
Where one's going to be better than the other for 18 months and so on and so on. But I always feel like Nintendo is 24 months behind.
Yeah, they're always a generation behind. And that's like, I wish they would at least, at this point, only be like 6 or 10 months behind.
Yeah, that's a little tight. But yeah, I mean, I could, give it 1
At
year.
least do that.
Yeah.
Right, because I mean, well, S came out and it's got the upscaling and the HDR and stuff like that. And I mean, the NX isn't releasing until this coming spring. So again, that would put it at that 6 months
Yeah,
at least,
I mean,
right?
there's no reason Nintendo can't get into this new, pattern either. I mean, come out with the NX. Look what they did with the 3DS. They released that new 3DS that had more power, faster processor. Stop dragging your feet. Stop taking 5 years to. If you come out with the NX and you see it's doing well, but you didn't make the 4K and the HDR, come out with a new iteration, 18 months or 24 months from now.
Kind of like you're saying with the S mode in comparison to the regular Xbox One.
Exactly.
Right, okay. All right. Multi-platform news. Twitch will begin doling out a form of currency called Stream Plus, which will debut in the upcoming sports brawling multiplayer game Breakaway. Viewers get the ability to wager on matches and earn Stream Plus coins by watching.
Yeah,
weird.
I mean, so video games is gambling now. Like it's, I don't know if one.
Well, I thought that was going that way, especially with like the
Yeah, but one. I mean, seems
shooter
like a
games
lot
and
of
stuff.
legality issues. I mean, look at FanDuel.
They've just taken to Vegas, right?
Well, look at the fantasy football. I mean, last year I played that FanDuel and the those type of wagering games on fantasy football. Now you're gonna offer people that they can wager on video games. I mean, does this Stream Plus currency have a value that allows you to purchase new games with that currency? Because if it does, you're technically being awarded money. And do you have to be over 18 then to have this account to?
See, I'm curious about that because it's Twitch that's doing it, and I can't see how they would be, unless it is just a monetary reward.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're doing any game purchasing
Yeah.
or game sales.
I don't know. This I mean, I'm sure they've got lawyers and all the other, ends
Sure.
that they've looked at, but this just seems weird.
I could see it being an option when it comes into sports and shooter games.
Well, and I'll play the parent role here too. Is this like opening up another avenue of bad behaviors? That you're letting your kids look at. Okay, now it's good. Now it's okay to gamble on things and bet on things, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of this.
I have to see how yeah. All right, U.S. restaurant chain Buffalo Wild Wings has teamed up with EA for a Titanfall 2 promotion. Participants who eat at one of the 1,175 U.S. locations between October 28th and the end of November 2016 will receive access to an exclusive Titanfall 2 multiplayer mode and Titan insignia.
Insignia could be cool. They should have like a chicken on fire or something something to do with the hot
I'm assuming
wings.
they're just going to do the buffalo with the wings on it.
Oh, like the lame logo that they have.
Yep.
Come on, you got to have a little fun with that. You got to do something
maybe
crazy with like I said, a chicken with like a bunch of bullets wrapped around them, or some, like the crazy hen.
There comes the artist in you.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. No, I mean, what am I going to do? Put the big yellow logo with the black buffalo
exactly.
on it?
Yes, that's 100% what I think that they're going to do.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we can push our brand. Okay.
That's right.
Look at that idiot in the Titan. He eats at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Players can also earn Coliseum tickets by playing multiplayer. However, the Mountain Dew and Buffalo Wild Wings promotion are just another way for fans to get tickets to the Coliseum mode.
So I guess this new mode, maybe you need tickets to gain entry, which is interesting. So maybe this is like the PvP dual arena that I sure as hell probably won't be venturing into.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like the Dark Zone for the Division.
So Mountain Dew's getting into it too. All right.
Only thing we're missing is Doritos there.
Yeah. No, the Twitch will work that in there somehow. Yeah, especially with the Mountain Dew connection.
Yeah.
All right. Still yay in your beer.
Oh yeah, of course.
Still steak. You're still jonesing.
Still jonesing. I mean, give me some blue cheese crumble on that bad boy now.
Oh no. All right. Okay. Let's get one more round and we'll be back at the Brown Breeze.
For more from the Loaded Couch, check us out on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.
Hey, if you like me, follow me on Twitch and Twitter at Pigeon Pegleg. Yeah! What's going on, guys? This is Cataclysmic Doom. Make sure to check me out on Twitch and Twitter at Cataclysmic Doom.
Hey, this is Scotchhound. If you want to hear more from me, you can check me out on Twitter at Scotchhound_LC or on Twitch at Scotchhound.
Hey, we're back with the Brown Breeze section of the show. Cal, can we lead us off with the beer?
Yeah, I switched up. I finished my Blithering Idiot. Now I'm drinking the Abbey Ale by Omegang out of Cooperstown, New York. It's their Double Ale, and it's 8.2% alcohol. It's ironically has the same exact color as the Blithering Idiot I was drinking.
Just a little bit less alcohol or same?
A little less. This is 8.2 versus the 11%.
Okay.
But this has a little bit of, this has a little bit more burn actually than the Blithering.
Okay. I wonder if that's the barley wine that, like we were saying, helps smooth out the alcohol flavor.
Yeah, you know what? It's not. No, I take that back. It doesn't have the burn. It's a little bit more fizz than the other one. I think that goes with our thought that the other one definitely was like drinking a red wine versus this is more like drinking a beer.
Right. Okay. And I stuck with the Blithering Idiot, trying to just make a dent on that 4-pack. And what do you think? Are we turning into Blithering Idiots yet?
I was getting close there, but I think I can throttle down a little bit here with the Double.
All right. Diarrhea of the mouth. There are scientific reasons your dog eats its poo.
Nice.
According to Gross Science host Anna Rothschild, dogs tend to eat their own bum brownies mainly out of confusion or fear. Mother dogs eat their puppies' poo to keep them from ingesting harmful parasites. Their offspring may then pick up this tendency because they are trying to copy her behavior. Dogs can also be confused when they are punished after pooping and may eat their feces to hide the evidence. I've seen that firsthand.
So that they recognize that they shit something out that they shouldn't have eaten in the first place?
No, I've seen it where it was just that they went to the bathroom and got yelled at for, well, it was in the house, and they pooped in the house, and they got completely yelled at for it and punished for, multiple times that it had happened.
He's like, here, let me get that up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave that.
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Yeah.
So I've got a funny poop story myself, actually.
Sure.
So decided to go out and cut the grass the other day.
Oh, no.
First time in a month, obviously because of the leg.
Okay.
And before I started cutting the grass, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to weed whack everything. So spent a good hour literally weed whacking and trimming everywhere around the house and the property. So I can't fault my son. The grass is literally like a jungle because I haven't cut it in a month because of my leg. And I whacked a piece of dog shit with the weed whacker. And it literally exploded. And I got dog shit on my glasses, on my lips.
Was it fresh?
It was fresh enough to where when it exploded, it was still moist.
Yum. How would that smell?
And it gets better. Well, it doesn't really get. And then literally 10, 15 minutes later, walking around the yard, I stepped in a pile and smeared that. So it was nice and fresh and stinky smelling. So yeah, that was my venture back out into the yard. But now the grass is nice and short, like a soccer field, and
so they can all be found.
it can all be found and picked up every other day now.
Nice. Oh, great. Oh. All right. Dogs also may participate in some downtown buffet because they are experiencing a lack of nutrition.
I've heard of the nutrient part.
Rothschild points to a paper that describes how some dogs may slop their own plop because they have a condition that causes food to pass through them before it's digested. As a result, they consume their own poop to recover lost nutrients.
Dog's like, hey, you gonna eat that?
Now, I've heard that they will do that with like horse manure or things like that because, again, the same thing. A lot of the nutrients isn't completely digested and absorbed into the body through those things. So it's already partially digested, which makes it easier to eat. One. And there's still some nutrients left in it.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of the lack of nutrients. They tend to want to re-eat their poop.
Right. I'd heard also something in this poop discussion that most fecal matter is, what did they say? It's a crazy percentage like that you wouldn't assume. Like I assume like our body uses most of the food that we eat, but I thought it was like only 40% that is actually used, and there's another 60 that gets pooped back out again.
Well, while we're on the talk of eating shit, I read something horrible once about the poor people in North Korea. Literally the shit that they go through. They were saying
literally.
Yeah,
oh, geez.
Literally. They were saying one of the people described the food there is such an issue with the people that are condemned to the mines and the labor camps and the slave camps. They saw North Koreans literally picking through shit to re-eat the corn that they passed.
Yeah, but they're not going to get any nutrients out of that corn. The reason it passed is because it doesn't break down.
Well, they're literally trying to re-eat it so that it's just, I think it's a mental thing that they...
Filler.
Yeah, they know. I mean, they were saying they literally like eat sawdust and all, anything they can get into them in these, slave camps or labor camps. And somebody had said they witnessed a guy going through shit and pulling his own corn out to re-eat it. So yeah,
sounds like a great country to live in.
Yeah. Thought I'd enlighten us with the while we're on the poop talk.
Yeah. All right, getting off the poop talk. Amazon Dash button. It's a Wi-Fi connected device that reorders your favorite product with the press of a button. So, Calc, you need to refill your Magnum condoms? Just press the button.
Yeah, keep that bad boy right near the nightstand.
Pigeon can refill his tampons by just pressing the button. Now, here's how it works. The way they show it in these little, pictures of it, it looks like a little maybe key fob size.
Yeah, it almost looks like a thumb drive.
Object. Right. That's Wi-Fi built in. It says you just set up and place the dash button. Now, I'm assuming with the setup, it has some kind of maybe UPC reader on it.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it's 3 little circles, little diagrams of the device and a hand and the product you sit it next to.
Right.
You're sitting it next to the product, so yeah, you'd have to do some form of entry. So whether it's like an app or something on your phone or your PC, similar to these healthy diet and exercise apps where you have to enter the food, I'd assume you'd have to enter, this what do they call it again? This dash button belongs to the bathroom soap. So you'd have to like enter that SKU or that UPC, and then every time you hit the button.
Oh, so you're thinking there's going to be more than one dash button. There's going to be dash buttons for like everything.
Yeah, I think there's going to be quite a bit of inventory management, I guess you would say, with the products.
See, I was
in
thinking
your
it was
house.
more of like a UPC scanner, like you see at like the supermarket, but like a very scaled down version of it that maybe the Wi-Fi, again, goes to your phone or your computer.
Yeah,
Where you keep the inventory there, but it does have kind of a scanner where you're like, okay, I need more of this. Bloop, and you just kind of scan it and push the
could
button.
work. So I don't understand why they're saying set up in place, but I completely agree. If you hold this little thumb drive with a button and you can like scan barcode or do something on the product, click the button, and that's all the action that's needed, and it knows to reorder the product. I could see that being a lot more feasible.
But wasn't Amazon doing something like that with that phone that they had? Not the Fire? What the hell was that phone? Doesn't matter what it was called. But wasn't their phone like something where you could like scan any item, and they had, because it was an Amazon product, they could pretty much find that item and the price, like if you went into a store or something like that, or were looking at something?
Possibly. So I mean, it sounds familiar, but I don't see cost-wise. I don't see how you can have all these little widgets, these little dash button devices in every room of the house. Like, how's it going to know what product you ran out of? So,
Right.
Yeah, I would think there's some form of UPC or inventory management here.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
That's cool because it says press it when you're running low on your favorite product, and then it says receive your product before you run out.
Did you see the what is it, like Samsung and LG and them have the refrigerators now with the
Oh yeah, take a
big-
picture of the interior.
yeah, it's like a big LED screen on the outside of the door, and it can
Yep.
it can see inside the refrigerator from your phone at the food store.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I think it said it took a picture and it would email you the picture so you could look at it to see what was inside your fridge.
Wow.
All right, I got some questions from listeners. Our first question comes from at the original Ava.
Ava?
Okay. AVA. I hear you guys make fun of Celtic and his love for Robot Dome. Do you think any of you could ever love a synthetic in the future? It's funny you say that because I just watched a video. Toyota has this new robot, I guess, that went into space on the space station with the Japanese, I want to say.
Yeah, I know NASA has, from the waist up, they kind of have like a robot that looks humanoid. It's more of like a companionship type of study.
Right. And this is what Toyota was making. I think the one Toyota made was maybe 12 inches to 14 inches tall, maybe 16 inches tall.
Okay.
And it moves. It had legs and arms and everything else, but it communicates with you. And it learns from seeing. I think it has little, because it can follow you, like as you move around the room, its head will turn as it talks to you to like follow you around and make sure it's looking at you and stuff. Well, Toyota just made this new one, and I want to call it Mini Robo. I don't think that's what it's called. It's something like that. It's a 6-inch tall one, and they're saying it's a companion robot. It learns from you. It interacts with you, but there's a monthly fee that goes along with owning it. But it's for companionship. So that's why I thought it was pretty interesting with it. Could you ever love a synthetic in the future? Where Toyota seems to be making a push towards that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question because it goes with this whole theory behind the whole Westworld show too. It's at what point does something non-human give enough personality to convince you that there is some form of love or I wouldn't say I could ever fall in love for a synthetic, but I could see the possibility of caring for your synthetic in the aspect that you care for your pet.
But not a child.
Not a child. Like,
Do you think you could ever get to that point where you're on a sinking boat and you're like, I don't know who to save, my synthetic or my child?
no, it would never come to that. That's what I mean. I don't think it would ever, like, same with my dog or, my pet. My own blood and, my wife and my son, they're always first. I think I could see if you had a synthetic that you spent day and night with and you grew for 5-10 years with, I could see you being emotionally distraught if something happened in the same manner of like losing a pet.
Right.
But I don't think I could ever see myself like
You personally.
myself personally. I don't think I could see myself making a life or death decision between a synthetic or
Yeah, because we had that one episode. It was a little while back now, where that Asian guy had taken his sex doll
yeah.
to the movies with him.
Yeah, well, especially that type of love. I don't, again, though, highly recommend you check out Westworld, and, it kind of,
The big push.
yeah, kind of goes into that whole, and I remember a while back, too, I was pushing that BBC show, Humans. It's on Amazon now, I think. And there's a key character in there that, well, there's several characters, but there's one key male character that has this growing bond and love for his synthetic.
Okay.
And it kind of falls in line, like I said. I think I could see, I'd be really upset if I had a synthetic that spent 10 or 15 years, especially if it was something that like raised my child and it like died. I definitely,
Kind of like a Rosie from the Jetsons.
yeah, I could see being upset about losing something like that, but it's it's going to be an interesting future, man, with the whole humanity. It's that Alan Turing test. When does the computer become human?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the question at the original Ava, whatever. Our next question comes from at Lego My Prego. My wife is preggers, and she's been craving the craziest shiz. Did your old ball and chain crave anything when they were pregnant? Mine did.
Spice. My wife loved. She could not get enough hot wings.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
They always say spicy is like something that like you don't eat it the whole pregnancy until you're like ready to pop, and then if the pop is taking too long, you eat something spicy to get the baby out.
She wanted spicy wings, and you know what? My son loves hot wings. Well, not hot. He loves anything spicy.
Right.
This past weekend, when my wife was out of town for work, we actually started buying the ramen noodles and the big bowls of the Chinese soup. And my son loves the hot and spicy shrimp. The more heat in it, the better. He sits there. He's got boogers running down his nose. And
Sweat beads all over his forehead.
Sweat beads, and he's loving it. He just keeps eating it.
That's awesome. Nicole, she had a craving for KFC mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
And then like early on in the pregnancy, she had she just all of a sudden, I need meat. And like she'd been vegetarian up to that point. And we were driving and she just had to have a burger. And then after that, it was just nothing but steak.
She's like, this thing inside me needs protein.
Exactly. Yeah. My body's craving protein right now.
Yeah. Oh man, KFC.
But the funniest
so
with the
good.
running out was the KFC mashed potatoes. It'd be like 10 o'clock. Do you think KFC's still open? I'd be like, probably. Can you go get me some mashed potatoes?
You're lucky you live where you do, because out in my neck of the woods, you ain't getting no
You
KFC.
can't just- yeah, you'd be driving out here to me. That'd
Yeah.
be so fun. Yeah. All right, well, thank you for the question at Lego My Prego. Our next question comes from, this is an unbelievable name, but at Dogfish Brewery that waits for you to visit. And it just says, when are you coming, question mark.
They must have caught wind of Pigeon.
I think we're going to have to wait until Pigeon moves to Texas.
Yeah.
And then we'll go down like the week after.
Yeah, I was thinking we'll either go maybe right after the plane sends off, or the or the U-Haul's packed, or maybe we'll do something in the spring.
That's Sounds like a plan. And I know his mother-in-law, so we'll talk to him, see if we can get in touch with his mother-in-law that has a place down and around that area. Maybe we can stay with her.
Well, we could always make a trip over there and just go with Deb Sully instead. And I'm sure she would gladly fill in for.
That's true, yeah.
Pigeon.
And then we could just do the recording with her to say how the show or how the visit was.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, thank you for the question at Dogfish Brewery that waits for you to visit. That's a ridiculous name. All right. Our last one. Yeah. Our last question comes from at G.U.I. Shmooey. And I'm assuming that's Gooey Shmooey.
Okay.
Kelk keeps saying gooey all the time. Everyone knows it's HUD or HUD. The only gooey I know is pronounced Gooey, which is geoduck. Oh, yeah. You ever eat one? And now they have a picture of it. And it looks like a horse's dick wrapped in a peanut shell.
So this is one of those like not sea urchin, but these are these like gigantic scallop things that grow out of the clam shells out in the ocean.
Right.
For our listeners. And it reminds me of the guy with the elephant penis disease.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I could ever eat anything that looks like this.
Now, the crazy thing is there's like this little kid in a raincoat and stuff holding this thing that looks completely obscene. And then it looks like the grandparents maybe behind her. Like,
yeah, and you're right. It does. It looks like a horse penis that fell off.
Right.
And the kid's holding
and it has a shell wrapped around the back, the end of it, or the bottom end of it.
I have seen this on some cooking shows, though. They dice it up and cook it. It's supposed to. Again, I think it's got a lot of consistency, like a scallop.
Okay. It's called geoduck, though.
Yeah,
but they announce it as gooey.
Yeah, I've never had gooey. Again, don't think I could ever eat gooey. While it looks like elephantitis with a penis. Thank you, Pigeon, for ruining me forever with that image.
Great. Yeah, I've never eaten any of that, and I've never seen it cooked. I know I've never seen it on Chopped or anything. That's just crazy looking to me. And that picture's kind of obscene. I don't even know how you found it.
Maybe I wonder if you can get some gooey in like your sushi, kind of like the eel with the brown sauce on it.
Okay, maybe if it's prepared like that, it would be okay because I can't see the original shape.
Yeah, exactly. Out of sight.
If I had to prepare it, it'd be like,
out of sight, out of mind. Just prepare it for me. Serve it on a platter. Don't tell me till after the fact that you just ate gooey.
Right. Oh, man. So you're going to keep calling it gooey instead of HUD?
Oh, yeah. It's always a gooey. I mean, that's the trade I work in.
Yeah.
Graphical user interface.
All right. Well, thank you for the question at Gooey Shmooey. And that's it for the questions. Calc, any change on your beer? I'm still yay on my Blithering Idiot. Starting to get to that blithering point.
Yeah, the brewery Omegang, their Abbey Ale. It's a double. It's really good. It's really smooth.
Especially yay?
It's a yay. After coming off of the 11% Blithering Idiot, I would highly recommend the double. And that same combo, too. If anybody wants to start their night with a Blithering Idiot and taper off with the double, I highly recommend it.
All right. Now, are you still tapering off with a steak, or are you going to change it up for your food pairing with the double?
I'll stick with the steak.
All right. Okay, that's the show. Thanks so much for listening, guys. If you want, you can reach us at The Loaded Couch on Twitter. You can hit up Celtic Fox _LC on Twitter, or myself, Scotch Hound _LC on Twitter as well. The Loaded Couch is also on YouTube, Facebook, and where else, Cook?
Gmail. They can send us emails.
Right, at The Loaded Couch, or theloadedcouch@gmail.com.
Yeah, hit us up, follow us, send us some questions. We'll read them out here on the air and answer them or not answer them.
Yeah, exactly. Or try to work around them best as possible. Yeah. Yep. And thanks for listening to the show, guys. And we'll catch you next week.
Later.